in full. Hear me back.
Again.
Trudeau really fucked the country up good. He brought the whole entire country.
Welcome to Canada. Where? Woo! This is crazy.
You're fucking paranoid, you are fucking, you bloody bastard bitch, fuck you, bloody fuck.
Indian people are racist. Now, before you decide to jump down my throat, hear me out.
Have you ever felt a sense of exhaustion or frustration with something that just seems to keep happening? And what if that something was the influx of new immigrants into your country? And what if that frustration was so widespread it got its own name? Today we're talking about a term that's gaining a lot of traction in Canada, the Indian fatigue. And what exactly is it? It is a phrase used to describe the collective exhaustion of some Canadians feel with Indian immigrants, stemming from a range of accusations. I'll be exploring everything from job competition and cultural clashes to allegations of indiscipline and even racism. But also we're going to talk to hear from that side of the story, the voices of the Indian immigrants and Canadians who say the real problem isn't the immigrants, but a broken government system that is using them as a convenient scapegoat. Before we dive into this complex and sensitive topic, a quick reminder, if you find this video insightful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and for more for more details like this, kindly share your thoughts in the comments. And then I want you to know that your engagement helps us to create more content like this. Now, let us watch some of these clips, and then I'll be back to discuss everything with you.
A deeper hitting version of why are South Asians the most hated in Canada, and this is my honest opinion. There's a reason the South Asian community, particularly us Indians, often get side-eyed in Canada, while other immigrant groups, they quietly integrate, build lives, and create opportunities. We seem to thrive on chaos. Why? First, entitlement. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that moving to Canada was a privilege, not a right. Instead of adapting, we impose our culture, our noise, our ways. It's one thing to celebrate Diwali, it's another to turn residential streets into a rave, completely with firecrackers and traffic jams. When people call us out, we play the victim. They don't understand our culture. But maybe we are the ones who don't understand the value of blending in respectfully. Then there's our obsession with shortcuts. Fake marriages, fraudulent job offers, under the table work. It's no secret. Instead of playing the long game like other communities, we want instant success. So why are we hated? Maybe it's because we refuse to take responsibility. We are loud, unapologetic, and often disrespected of the very system that gave us a chance. And when the backlash
are not adapting to the culture that's here. And I think that it's okay to adapt to the good things. There's a lot of great things that the Canadian culture is. And if you can't, and here's the other thing. I feel like Indians that are coming now, they are wanting people to adapt to them. And they want Canadians to change and look into their culture and their religion and into their events. Like Diwali happens, right? Yeah. And all these people start going to Toronto downtown, start blowing off fireworks, going all crazy, right? But in the same time, if the Canadian culture, so something like Thanksgiving happens, they don't participate.
Bro, there's a lot of people applying, but Indians are hiring Indians. And honestly, I don't know why this is such shock to you guys.
This is disgusting. Disgusting.
Yo, good morning. Why are y'all coming on the bus musty at 8 a.m. in the morning, bro? 8 a.m. in the morning. Your armpits stink. Your breath stink. What are you doing, yo? What are we doing?
India could send 2 million Indians to every country on earth. 200 countries, and it would still have 1 billion Indians in its own country. That's how densely populated India is.
For anybody out there that might be watching this, what would it be?
We need to do something about these Indians.
Is it like different ethnicities? Like all immigrants?
Not all immigrants.
Okay.
They are majority.
Were you an immigrant as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Where you from?
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I came here without paper just like them, but it wasn't like this. You have to behave yourself. If you don't behave yourself, they send you back. But what they're doing about them, nothing. Because you know what? All of them get the same name. All of them get the same last name. So you can't...
I can't wait till all those Indians go back home. Because then all you Canadians will actually have no one left to blame. Because then you'll realize that all these things that you're actually blaming these students for, lack of housing, lack of jobs, cost of living, inflation, you having no sex life, actually wasn't their fault at all. It actually was the fault of a federal government who literally continues to favor billionaire corporations and doesn't make them pay their fair share. It actually was the fault of people like Doe Ford bleeding out the healthcare system, continuing to prop up their developer buddies without building affordable housing, of government programs that colleges and governments and shady recruiters all took advantage of, and that the vast majority of these kids were just hard-working students who were actually propping up our economy, working their asses off, and getting treated like absolute shit in some of the most disgusting racism I have ever seen, stoked by far-right online hate groups, and that this country is actually going to be worse off for the way we have treated them and for making this place so inhospitable for so many.
That's one of the scariest things I've seen. Are we really at a point in Canada where we're calling it Indian fatigue? As a South Asian woman who has lived in Canada almost all her life, I came here when I was 2 and I'm 32 right now. I don't even know what to make of this. I know we're all sick of it. We're all sick of immigrants that cannot speak English and they get our jobs that our kids should get. But is this really the way to behave? Is this really the way to talk? The anger should be with our government. Our government is literally trying to divide and conquer. They want us to fight in between ourselves. They do not want us to come together. And for once, can Canadians protest for Canadian rights? I would love to come together with other Canadians that have the same views as me, but this is an extreme. I do not believe in talking to people like this. Of course, you want to do it, okay? And maybe even the Tim Horton worker deserved it. Because why are you working in a customer service job when you don't even know the language? When you cannot even get a simple Tim Horton order right? And just so everyone knows, I worked at Tim Horton for about 10 years, so I know what I'm talking about. Working at Tim Hortons is not that hard. But yeah, I have no idea what side of the spectrum I'm on. Yes, I don't believe that so many immigrants should be here and not even try to learn our language. But I also don't believe in talking to people like this. This anger should be with our government. Our government allowed this. So if there's people that want to calmly discuss the issues that we have in Canada, that want to direct their anger towards the government, I'm here with you. Let's connect.
Good people, welcome back. And the clips you've just watched shed light on a deeply complex and emotional issue. The term Indian fatigue is not just a catchy phrase, it is a window into the tensions and frustrations bubbling under the surface of Canadian society, and we've had a lot of accusations, and it's important to break them down one by one to understand the full picture. First, let us talk about the economic fears, and the idea that Indian immigrants are taking away jobs from Canadians is a central theme, because we've had the specific example of immigrants who do not speak English getting jobs at Tim Hortons that Canadians feel their own children should have. This is not just about jobs, it is about perceived sense of unfairness. There is a feeling that the system is failing its own citizens by not prioritizing them in the job market, and that frustration is being directed squarely at the new arrivals. Next up, we have the accusations of indiscipline and poor behavior. This is a broad category that touches on everything from personal hygiene to public conduct. The complaints are specific. People being musty at 8 a.m. in the morning on the bus with armpit stink and breath stink. While these might seem like minor issues, they accumulate and contribute to a feeling that a significant portion of the immigrant population is not respecting Canadian social norms. This leads us to the heart of the cultural clash. The charge is that Indian immigrants are not adapting to Canadian culture. Instead, they're imposing their culture, their noise, and their base. The example of Diwali celebrations turning residential streets into a rave with firecrackers and traffic jams is a powerful one. It highlights a key point of friction. What one group sees as a proud cultural celebration, another sees it as a disrespectful imposition on their own way of life. This is contrasted with a perceived lack of participation in Canadian cultural events like Thanksgiving. The line between cultural preservation and disrespect is seen as a very thin one, and it's a source of real tension. The allegations of racism and self-segregation are particularly charged. The claim that Indian immigrants are racist because they allegedly hire only other Indians and prefer to live exclusively in their own communities. This is by some as a form of discrimination. The practice of living amongst themselves and maintaining distinct cultural traditions and dressing styles is viewed as a crossing a line from cultural conservatism into a form of exclusionary behavior. The script notes that this behavior is not only observed in Canada but also in other countries where Indians migrate, and even within India, where most Indians reportedly do not want to interact or marry partners from other races. It is a complex accusation that speaks to a feeling of being shut out and discriminated against in one's own country. Then there is the obsession with shortcuts, quote unquote, which includes accusation of fake marriages, fraudulent job and offers, and under the table work. This suggests a perception that some immigrants are not playing the long game and are instead looking for quick, easy ways to achieve success, which is seen as undermining the integrity of the system. This also ties into a perceived refusal to take responsibility, with some immigrants accused of playing the victim and claiming others don't understand our own culture, quote unquote, when called out. Now, let us turn to the count of arguments from within the Indian communities and from other Canadians. Some Indians are calling out their own community members, saying maybe we are the ones who don't understand the value of blending in respectively. These individuals acknowledge the issues and are critical of the behavior they see, calling for better integration and respect for the host country. However, a powerful counter-narrative emerges, one that shifts the blame from the immigrants to the government itself. We heard that the argument that Canadians are using immigrants as scapegoats for systemic failures. The script notes that issues, the lack of housing, lack of jobs, cost of living, inflation, are not the fault of the immigrants but are of a federal government that favors billionaire corporations and fails to build affordable housing. One person suggested that the government is trying to divide and conquer, encouraging Canadians to fight in between ourselves, quote unquote, and instead of uniting against the real issues. So this perspective reframes the entire debate here. It suggests that the anger and frustration are real, but they are misdirected. Instead of being angry at the immigrants, the argument is that the anger should be aimed at the government for allowing a system that creates these tensions. The idea is that the vast majority of these kids were just hard-working students who were actually propping up our economy, working their asses off and getting treated like absolute shit. Like, yeah, the Indian fatigue phenomenon is not a simple case of prejudice. It is a symptom of a much larger, more complicated set of problems. It is a mix of cultural misunderstandings, economic anxieties, and a deep-seated frustration with the systemic issues. As we move forward, it is clear that a constructive dialogue must be had, one that addresses the legitimate concerns of Canadians while also acknowledging the systemic issues that are contributing to this tension. It is a call for empathy on all sides and a collective effort to build a more inclusive and a functional society. So, good people in Canada and those who are outside Canada, in the diaspora, Indians in the diaspora, in Canada, and wherever you are, guys, do you think that the Indian fatigue in Canada, is it misdirected or is it on point? Tell me what you think down in the comments below, and remember to keep your comments respectfully, respect the creators of these videos, respect the host, and most importantly, respect everyone who interacts with you. Remember to like this video so that it can be pushed to as many people as possible, and do not forget to subscribe and turn on post notification, because I like us to be a family, I like us to be a community. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Peace out.